You can't catch me. I'm the fastest thing alive.
I was thinking about why so many of the radical left participate in speed running.
Huh?
The reason is the left's lack of work ethic.
What?
Go fast rather than do it right. And in a Petersonian sense,
Petersonian?
to elevate alternative sexual archetypes in the marketplace. Fastest hedgehog.
Shadow, what the f are you talking about?
You're a beta male, Sonic.
You can't catch me. I'm the fastest thing alive.
This is so fucking good. Oh my god. Remember when H-Bomb said speedrunning was a new sexual archetype and Elon Musk was the most fuckable man in existence in his mirror? Wait, he also added, I have been linked a video by H-Bomber guy which made many of the same points as me, but did so while being a radical leftist and he was celebrated. I, meanwhile, brought in a contemporary philosopher who's more of a centrist and was ridiculed. This confirms my argument. What? Yeah, this thread is fucking golden. I want to read through it, actually. I'm gonna read through it. Oh god, my camera just died again, did it? Obviously, there are exceptions to this, and some people more in the center or right also speedrun. However, they are more than sufficient to prove the rule rather than contrast it. Consider how woke GDQ has been almost since the very beginning. Your eyes will start to open. Returning to the topic of the worth ethic. A speedrunner may well design... This is ultimately a meaningless exercise, since they will ultimately accomplish exactly that which is done in less collective time by a casual player. Oh no, already wrong. This is thus a waste of effort on the behalf of the speedrunner. Okay, let's go point by point. This is wrong because obviously you're not accomplishing the same that a casual player is accomplishing by definition by spending less time. That's the whole important distinction. If you abstract that away, if you pretend it's not important, then it doesn't fucking matter. And if you don't care about speedrunning, that's fine too. It's not like you can go full Freudian analysis and see it as a sublimation of sexual pulsions and thus seeking a new sexual archetype that, like, if I'm the fastest speedrunner in existence, I'll be attractive to other people. That's okay. That has nothing to do with leftist or right-wing politics though. Literally nothing, or work ethic. On the contrary, he's pretending he's discounting the hours and hours of work and discipline that go into speedrunning by just saying it's meaningless, which doesn't fucking matter. It's still a work ethic. This is thus a waste of effort on behalf of the speedrunner. Put more simply, they're spending their work effort on something that someone else has already done, and done in a way deemed correct by the creator of the artwork. This is another thing that I see common. Honestly, if you like speedrun drama, look into the Dream and Minecraft. I've seen that already. This is something I see time and time again from right-wing pseudo-intellectuals, or even real intellectuals. They don't understand art. And this is such a memey thing to say, but it's true. Conservative people do not understand art most of the time. Not all of them, but most of them do not fucking understand it. They don't understand the philosophy behind art. They don't understand anything. And you see it so fucking obvious when you see something like this. The way deemed correct by the creator of the artwork is not the absolute measure of correctness of experiencing an art, a form of art. That's never gonna happen, or rather, like that's just not the right way of thinking about it. And yet Kanye West voted Trump. Checkmate, commie. Good one. You absolutely cannot look at the way that the artist intended something to be consumed or viewed or understood and completely erase how other people interpreted it. That just doesn't work. Why do they do this? The answer is quite obvious if you think about it. The goal is the illusion of speed and the subconscious desire to promote radical leftist, borderline communist ideals of how easy work is. Everyone always says that speedruns look easy. That is part of the aesthetic. Anyone who does things with extreme skill and repetition, who have practiced something to perfection, will make it look easy. That's part of the aesthetic of being skilled. That's part of the aesthetic of being skilled at something. That has nothing to do with speedruns looking easy. Like, musicians make playing their instrument look easy. Painters make painting look easy when they're good. What else? Runners make running look easy. Fighters make You can say that about any kind of performance once it's been taken to a certain level. Think about the phrase fully automated luxury communism in the context of speedrunning, and I strongly suspect that things will start to click in your mind. Oh God, I'm clicking. I make fucking your mom look easy. Good one. What happens to the individual in this? Individual accomplishment in speedrunning is simply waiting for another person to steal your techniques in order to defeat you. Where is something like intellectual property or patent in this necessarily communitarian process? Oh, once again, misunderstanding what art is. Art thrives on cooperation and, yes, on a community effort. Thanks, it's a lot of hard work. Need to work a lot on my core. Good one. Fuck the camera. This is another big misunderstanding with art that conservatives often have. They don't understand that art requires constant interchange and exchange of techniques and knowledge, and that is why the concepts of intellectual property and patenting don't apply. And the same goes for performances. You're not patenting a training method to build up a stronger athlete. People are surprised when we're watching the Olympics. People are surprised at how, for example, the climbers were talking and exchanging on how to best climb the puzzle climbs. And I was like, no, this isn't even just about good sportsmanship. This is just them understanding that they will all get further by exchanging and discussing it. And them being in competition doesn't mean that they will perform any better by trying to hide things as if they were trade secrets. Just doesn't work that way. It really doesn't work that way. Yeah, I talk like that with other runners. Yeah, exactly. You exchange training techniques, you exchange like tips, you comment on their form. Only person you need to beat is yourself. Exactly. So like, and speedrunning is very much like that. It's like a sport. It's like a sport, and there's a bit of art to it too. But it's mostly a sport. And like you said, the only person you need to beat is yourself. Absolutely. And this person has shown a gross misunderstanding of art, and now is showing a gross misunderstanding of sport itself. Cooperation in sport is not communism. Now, as to the sexual archetype model and speedrunning generally, if you have any passing familiarity with Jordan Peterson's broader oeuvre and of Jungian psychology, you likely already know where I'm going with this. However, I will say more for the uninitiated. Keep this passage from Maps of Meaning in mind. The archetypal son... Okay, sorry, I need to do my best Jordan Peterson impersonation. The archetypal son continually reconstructs defined territory as a consequence of the assimilation of the unknown, as a consequence of incestuous, that is, sexual, read creative, union with the great. In other words, there is a connection between sexuality and creativity that we see throughout time, as Peterson points out with Tiamat and other examples. It's bad. I don't know. I don't think I'm that good at impersonating Peterson. Chernit is really fucking good at it, dude. Chernit's Peterson impersonation is way better than mine. I'll say that. This really reminds me of Freudian sublimation, which is like a real concept in psychology.
So this is why this thing that I've said to people has become this crazy internet meme, but that's to clean up your room.
In the sexual marketplace, which archetypes are simultaneously deemed the most creative and valued the highest? The answer is obviously entrepreneurs like Elon Musk and others. What? Elon Musk is not considered creative. Who the fuck thinks Elon Musk is creative? Who the fuck thinks Elon Musk is creative? Maybe I have a huge like lefty bias on this, but I don't know anyone who looks at Elon Musk and thinks, oh wow, he's a creative. No, I know people who think he's smart. I know people who think he's a good salesman, who think he's a good CEO, but no one thinks he's fucking creative. I'm triggered. Given that we evolve and each thing we do must have an evolutionary purpose or cause, what archetype is the speedrunner engaged in, who is accomplishing nothing new, which is already wrong. He obviously isn't accomplishing something new. Like, once again, misunderstanding the idea of performance, whether it's in art or in sports. They are aiming to make a new sexual archetype based upon speed rather than doing things right. You're doing things right by the metric of speed, so you're just arbitrarily deciding that metric is bad for no good reason. Elon Musk is creative in his business ideas. Is he really, though? Is he really? What has he done? He invented spaceships, which he didn't invent. He invented electric cars, which he didn't invent. He did tunnels with vehicles that transport people, which he didn't invent either. And he like made that really less efficient than the traditional way of doing it. He is not a traditional investor, I agree. He likes to invest in the kinds of things. He definitely sped up the evolution of electric vehicles. No, absolutely, but we're talking about whether he's creative or not. I don't think he's creative. He's original. He definitely invests in ways that other people don't invest in. Maybe you could say that he's creative in the sense that he envisions what businesses, services will become successful in the future. But that's being a savvy business person. I don't see creativity in that. I see savviness. It's not the inventions, but the adaptations are creative. I don't... How? Like, and if there is creativity in the technologies, then that creativity, it comes from the engineers, right? Like, he realized PayPal would be crucial in the future. Tesla, SpaceX, yeah, sure. But I don't see that as, like, this kind of semantics, but I don't see that as creativity. Isn't originality and creativity the same? Maybe that's where I guess you can say he's creative. It's just creativity is usually associated with actual creative activities, which, I'm sorry, but Elon Musk is not, he's not a creator. He's an enabler for other people to create. Which is the role of a businessman, that is the role of a CEO, to enable the work of the people creating within your company. You're not really supposed to be creating firsthand anything. Who would be creative in your opinion? Obviously artists. To a certain extent, the engineers that are working for Elon Musk, they're all showing creativity. The marketing people are showing creativity. Like all the people that are actually creating tangible or intangible products. Elon Musk is, I guess he's producing when he's showing up on media. He's being the hype man. He's being the salesman. Elon Musk is creating an image there, and he's doing it creatively. So I guess I need to grant that to him. It's just I don't, and this is a personal bias of mine, but I don't see much. I don't see him much as as creating much there, honestly, or showing much creativity. Like him smoking weed on Joe Rogan's podcast is a creative way of publicizing himself, but I don't feel like that's something to fucking talk about. Someone comparable to Musk who would be creative. Isn't delegation part of leadership? Yeah, I agree. Delegation is part of leadership. And that's why I'm saying he's a good leader. He knows how to delegate. But he literally delegates creativity to other people, which is good. He's not supposed to sit around and devise marketing plans and like engineered rockets. That's not his job. I don't know, like, to me, a creative, like, green is not a creative color. A creative person, delegation is probably the most important part of good leadership, yeah. Is a YouTuber not a creator, even if they just react to content? Definitely a lot less creative if they react to content than when they actually do stuff. I don't know, okay, Elon Musk is creative. Let me rephrase that. Elon Musk is creative. I would not consider him the most creative, because that is what there's an absolute affirmation here. In the sexual marketplace, which archetypes are simultaneously deemed the most creative and valued the highest? Is Elon Musk among the people who are valued the highest in our society? Yes. Is he deemed among the most creative? No. I think anyone would consider someone like Kanye, someone like Beyonce, someone like any high-profile artist more creative than Elon Musk. I think we would all consider, can you be creative in leadership? Yes, you can, but leadership is not a very creative role, or at least it's not perceived as a very creative role. We are also talking about perception. Which archetypes are simultaneously deemed the most creative? Implied by society, because we're talking about the sexual marketplace. Which archetypes are implied deemed by society the most creative? Musk is not deemed the most creative person on Earth by society. Show me the fucking people who think that way. I don't know them. I don't know those people. I have not seen those articles. I am not aware of that being his image. His image is of being an original entrepreneur and a very successful one, and one of the richest people on Earth. Those are like the things you think of about Elon Musk. Being a philanthropist in the way he wants, in what he seeks to invest and advance in. But no one thinks of him as creative on the same level as like Kanye West. At least that's what I know. The most creative, nobody's claimed that. He is claiming that! This guy I'm fucking reacting to, whose fucking insane Twitter thread I'm reading, is claiming that Elon Musk is the most creative, is the most creative on archetype on Earth. Yes, I create your mom to make me a sandwich. Well, that's better than Chinchilla who keeps fucking her, so I'll take that as a win. Okay. Given that we evolved and each thing we do must have an evolutionary purpose or cause, what archetype is the speedrunner engaged in, who is accomplishing nothing new? So once again, archetype like personality archetype, it's not clear what he means by archetype. I guess it does mean a personality archetype, because he talks about Jungian psychology up here, and he quotes Peterson from in Maps of Meaning. The archetypal son continually reconstructs defined territory as a consequence of the assimilation of the unknown. So the archetypal son, I'm assuming that's a personality archetype. Well, Kanye West is low tier in my opinion. I mean, Kanye West, that's his personal opinion. He's not saying Kanye West is low tier. He's saying he doesn't enjoy Kanye West, which it's fine. But yeah, Lift Yourself is one of the most... I fucking love his Kanye West's gospel phase, absolutely. Lift Yourself is a banger. But yeah, I think it's personality archetype. Or he's calling it sexual archetype, actually, then later. So I don't know. I don't know what sexual archetype means at this point. I guess it's kind of a Jungian archetype personality. Or there's like a mishmash of ideas going on here. So, given that we evolved and each thing we do must have an evolutionary purpose or cause, evolutionary psychology, let's fucking go. What archetype is the speedrunner engaged in who is accomplishing nothing new? So once again, we established that the speedrunner is not accomplishing nothing new. This is this guy's delusion and misunderstanding of art and performance, of performance in general, whether it's in art or sports. I'm going to reiterate that. I feel like you're connecting creating with creative too much. He's the one using the word creative. Like, a creative in common parlance is usually used to talk about artists. You usually don't even put in creative occupations when you talk about creatives, like applied creation, whether it's in sciences or applied art. I mean, it's just semantics at the end, but like I just think Elon Musk is not someone that is usually simultaneously deemed the most creative and valued the highest. He's only valued the highest. People often say how I have creative solutions. Yes, but that doesn't mean you're deemed the most creative person in the sexual marketplace. This is the fucking sentence I'm talking about. Let's move on, please. You are just semantics. Got him. Got me. They're aiming to make a new sexual archetype based upon speed rather than doing things right, which is wrong, because that's just, you're deciding that the metric of doing things based upon speed is not doing them right, which is dumb, because it's as arbitrary as any other metric. Whoop diddy scoop poop. Yep. And refuse ownership of what few innovations they can provide to their own scene, denying creativity within their very own sexual archetype. Refuse ownership of what few innovations they can provide to their own scene, denying creativity within their... So according to him, giving away ownership of techniques and innovations denies creativity within the field. Going back to, this guy has no fucking understanding of art or performance in general. That has nothing to do with leftist ideology. That has nothing to fucking do with leftist ideology. There is no artist that, upon sharing techniques with other artists, feels they have been denied creativity. That has never happened in the history of humanity. I can state that with absolute certitude. This guy is fucking delusional. The obvious protest to this would be the glitchless 100% run, which in many ways does aim to play the game as intended, but seems to simply add the element of speed to the equation. This objection is ultimately meaningless when one considers how long a game is intended to be played in net by the creators, even when under 100% conditions. There is still time and effort wasted for no reason other than the ones I proposed above. And once again, like I said above, the way the game is intended to be played is absolutely irrelevant. That is meaningless. If you understand a philosophy of art, you understand that the way the creator intentioned their piece of art to be experienced has its importance, but is never the be-all end-all, and is never the metric by which you judge the validity of someone else's interpretation. An interpretation can absolutely be valid or an experience can absolutely be valid even when it was not the intended experience, is rather what I'm trying to say. By now, I'm sure I have bothered a number of you and rustled quite a few of your feathers. I'm not saying that speedrunning is bad, but rather that, thinking about the topic philosophically, there are dangerous elements within it, that is all. An addendum for the fools. Oh my, I wake up from a nap to a huge amount of triggered leftists in my notifications. I will address some of the criticisms here. Yes, I said rustled instead of ruffled. That is a typo. Sorry. Peterson is a thinker and it is fine to cite him. I'm not sorry for that. 3. Yes, the critique also applies to physical sports. They are also nonsensical, but also not adding a new sexual archetype into the world, since it has already been introduced and is already negative. What? Then speedrunning already exists! What? Now this guy doesn't understand the distinction between... Oh my god! This guy doesn't understand the distinction between fucking... what are the terms? When you fucking prescriptive and descriptive. So he's making an entire prescriptive treatise about how speedrunning is leftist, and then when he admits that the same arguments apply to sports, he says they don't because sports already exist. They're with a descriptive statement. Which is a descriptive statement. That doesn't work. If what he prescribes for speedrunning, which also already exists, works for sports, then you can also prescribe it for sports. The fact that how long they exist is completely fucking irrelevant. Evolution exists and influences our behavior. You just posted a 600-word essay about people having fun wrong, my dude. I'm not sure that you really have the right to say lol triggered to people responding. Is this a ratio speedrun or something? Okay. I think... Once again...
I was thinking about why so many in the radical left participate in speed running.
Huh?
The reason is the left's lack of work ethic.
What?
Go fast rather than do it right. And in a Petersonian sense...
Petersonian?
to elevate alternative sexual archetypes in the marketplace. Fastest hedgehog.
Shadow, what the fuck are you talking about?
You're a beta male, Sonic.
You can't catch
beta. Finally, some good fucking cringe.